Good morning. How is everybody? I'll give us some time for folks to come in and get situated. It's always good to be seen, and I wish I could see you. So do feel free to let yourself be seen by just kind of saying hello and typing in a message or so. I'm Belinda, and we're here with Just Be Yoga and our home yoga practice live. Puma's going to try to join us, but she doesn't want to do any yoga. She actually will be kind of mean. She's not always a nice girl. Good morning, Megan. Wonderful of you to join us. All right. I see folks are coming on in. We're going to get started here. If you have a block or a strap, maybe a belt or a towel, and a book or a chair, okay? But some things to be able to use for some support and some props for some of our yoga. Our home yoga practice is about developing a personal practice with yoga at home. Hopefully that, if I can have in some, humble role in helping you with that, that'll be great. But so it's a little bit less of like just this strict kind of class where someone just starts doing a whole bunch of stuff until the end where you can like collapse into your shavasana. I'm really going to try to do more interaction as we continue to do these live streams. So I'll stop, pause, maybe see if you have a question. Oh, hey, Kim and Carrie. Okay, wonderful. All right, this week, our theme has been flexibility, right? How many times have people said, I want to do yoga because I want to get flexible, or I can't do yoga because I'm not flexible, So we've been breaking down. Tuesday is more of our philosophical day. So if you want to look back and go to the 11th, I had to think about that. You can see the very beginning where I break down elasticity, plasticity. What are some of the elements that contribute to our ability to physically stretch, barring any injuries? And if you do have specific injuries, maybe email me before you do one of these live streams, and I can give you some modifications and variations to keep you safe. Friday is our basic day. So we're going to work on the fundamentals of standing poses, seated poses, reclining postures, but today with some of that flexibility in mind. All righty. Are there any questions or any issues anybody has that they want to bring up now? I'm not saying speak now or forever hold your peace, but speak now before we get up and get going. I will keep checking and seeing if I can see the screen, but I'll wait a little bit. And while I'm waiting, why don't we go ahead and come to standing? All right. Good morning, Elizabeth. Okie dokie. I'm going to keep trying to bring up our ability to interact with one another, because it's like otherwise you could just be staring at a static video on YouTube or whatever and not have that benefit of being able to talk to the actual person. So let's find the greatest benefit since we're not able to be in a studio environment. I'm trying to bring as much of that studio environment here. And anyone in this room who has had me in the studio knows that I'm going to come around and be picking apart some things. All righty. So why don't we start in our standing pose? If you've got your block and strap, just set it aside. So our fundamentals really just get us into bringing in that mindfulness of how we set things up, how we establish our foundation, bringing that mindful intent to not just getting to where we're going, but being where we are. So let's spread our toes. How aware are we in being in our feet, in how our feet are holding us? Maybe rock forward and back on the toes and the heels. Build that awareness. Yoga means to create a connection. So let's connect. Hi, Elizabeth. It looks like you sent a comment that was empty, so just letting you know. Try not to lock your knees. I'm going to turn sideways. So we're just going to build the standing pose of mountain. So I'm going to soften. Here I'm locking them backwards. You can see that action. And I'm going to lightly, softly bend. Now I'm not going to have the tailbone tilting back. I'm going to scoop it under just a hair. But I'm also not like thrusting the hips forward. So finding where we are in our hips, in our pelvic bowl. Gentle uplifting action through the core upward. Breastbone lifting, shoulders rooting down. So being aware of what's lifting and rooting to hold my body upright against gravity. Intending length upward through the back of the neck, chin softly released. Eyes could be opened or closed. Being aware of the structure and the muscle actions. No tension in the fingers and the wrists. How are we holding ourselves? Feel your breath. Observe your mind. Notice, are you clenching anywhere in your groin, in your thighs? What is the type of energy you're using to carry and hold yourself upright? Now let's feel out, if I'm saying I have an upward lift, do I feel flesh stretching in this lift? I've got a mosquito bite here, so sorry if I keep scratching. So could I put enough energy in the upward lift of the chest that I actually feel a stretch in the abdominal muscles without sucking the tummy in? We might be more readily able to be aware of the stretching sensation in the back of the neck by tilting the chin down, upward lift through the back of the head, shoulders anchoring down. At any point in time in our practice, in our asana, we should be able to be aware of equal and opposing energies, the root and the lift. Let's breathe in and lengthen upward through the arms, but root the shoulder sockets down. Maybe feel your waist. Ask yourselves, where am I feeling any lengthening happening in the body? And exhale, we're going to hinge forward into this forward fold called Uttanasana. Go ahead and lightly bend the knees. Let the upper body hang. Notice what you notice. Perhaps it's in between the shoulder blades as far as any sort of stretch sensation. Maybe the low back. Maybe we can't feel much of a stretch because we're feeling limited because our tummies are smushing against the legs. But notice what you notice. How much ease can we bring in where we are? Let's round the spine up. Let the arms dangle so that the weight of the flesh is hanging. And we get a gentle stretch through the elasticity of the flesh to bring ourselves back up. Practice your mountain. Good. Let's breathe in and lengthen upward. And exhale, forward fold. So I broke down throughout this week. Let's hang here. Maybe check the neck. Turn the head left and right. Talked about elasticity and the anchoring. For any amount of stretch, some part needs to be anchored and firm so that the rest can pull and lengthen. Let's round the spine up. So right now the anchor are the legs and all of the bones. The rest of the flesh is stretching around the bones to come back upright. Let's breathe in and reach. The anchor is the legs, the feet, maybe even the hips, everything else from the waist up. Where can you feel it? How do you apply yourselves without aggression? Exhale as we hinge forward. And now gravity actually gets to be a huge part of this anchor. And that the rest of us is just hanging off these bones. And we'll roll the spine up. Okay, let's go ahead and reach the arms out. Let's rotate the arms forward and back. Start to be aware of the spiral in the wrists and the forearms. Okay, we're getting stretch in the spirals. Great respect for, sorry, I don't mean to be lopsided. It's my stupid cameras. Yeah, it's the camera, right? not Belinda. I'm lopsided. All right. Feeling the spiral. When the bones hit their max of the rotation, the flesh then gets to work from the anchor of the bones to keep spiraling around. Can you feel it in your wrists? Can you feel it in the forearms, both the bones in the forearms? How about the upper arm? How about the shoulder sockets? When we're rotating all the way, can you involve the shoulder blades, and the chest? Now the legs are the anchor when we start to involve the lift of the chest. So push the legs down, rotate the arms open, and we can round, bring the hood of those shoulders up and over. How much up and down the spine can you be aware of flesh that is moving, stretching, or stopping? So the stop point is what we get to feel. And we get to have that interaction. In the stop point, are we forcing? In the stop point, are we quitting? We've got to find that even balance. Good. Let's lengthen upright. Push the legs down. Now push your right hip over to the right. Now push the right foot down a little extra. Firm through the thigh, firm through the hip, and ask the upper body to lift up and over. Breath. What are you feeling and where are you feeling it? Squeeze the muscles of your butt and relax. And notice the difference here. Squeeze, we probably feel more solid and contained. When we relax, we probably are sagging into it, maybe letting the stretch into the fibers of the muscles. Bringing ourselves back up, build it again from the feet through the knees, through the hips, through the waist, shoulders down. Exhale, other side. Could you move the hips first? Breathe. Now push a little extra in that left leg. Let the breath in. Are we only aware of the side, or are we feeling it wrapping around? Where's the resistance? Where's the play in the flesh? Now squeeze the butt and the side and relax. Allow your breath. Squeeze the butt and the side. Come out if you need. And relax. Don't go beyond your limit. Let's bring it back up. Don't go for burn or pain. Hands down to the heart center. We're going to reach the arms back. Palms are facing back, and then reach as though you could bring the hands together to clap. Now build your mountain. Press down through the legs, lift the chest. Can you feel this stretching through the front of the chest muscles? Shoulder blades down. Believe the back of your neck can grow tall. Apply your mental energy into the fibers of the neck growing tall. Can you lengthen the forearms and the wrists? Breath. Now go ahead and bring the hands together. It's a really good practice to start to do it that way rather than just always just bringing the hands together and using the tension and the force to do the stretch. Can we will the muscles themselves rather than having to rely on the clasp or the bind? Now we'll send the wrists down or hold a strap or a towel. This is where some of those props can come into play. I'm going to bend the knees a bit. Send the wrists down, open the shoulder sockets back. See if you can, pull that back, shoulders down, bend the knees. Good, tuck the chin down, draw the wrists down and back. Chin down, feel that in your neck. Where in the neck? Is it closer to the back of the skull? Is it in between the shoulder blades? Tilt the chin up. What are we feeling? Is it just the bones crunching? Can you use the muscles to lift the bones so that they don't crunch and compress? And tuck the chin down. How much energy are we still applying through the arms? And lift and tuck and left. How much can it turn? Keep drawing the wrists back and down. And right. Breath. Good. Come to center. Lift the wrists as far back as they want to go. And we'll come forward. No, no. Sorry, that's my dog. Not no to you guys. Lightly bend the knees. Now, while we're here, tense any muscles, as many muscles as you can. And now soften them all. Soften. Let your muscles sag around your bones. Feel the difference of activating the muscles in the stretch and releasing the muscles in the stretch. Let's let those arms go. Hands to the floor. Let's step the right leg back foot flat. Lightly bend the left knee and bring ourselves up. Now, you might not want to go back very far. Feet wide apart so that we have a nice base, okay? So I'm going to wiggle my left foot over toward the left edge, my right foot over toward the right edge. Now, pulling my left hip back, right hip forward. And let's just work the hips a little side to side. And notice, what am I feeling in this zone of my low back? What am I feeling as I turn the hips this way? Oh, I feel that in the front of my right hip, rotating. There, I feel my inner thigh and a little bit of the side of this thigh, and back. Maybe all you're feeling is the work of your legs, and that's legit. Breath. Now hold here, push into the baby toe edge of that back foot. Pull the chest up and back, sink. And notice what you're feeling in that right hip. Maybe draw the breastbone up and notice what you feel in the hip and the belly. And let's bring the hands down, maybe to a block. Let's step that back leg up. Take your time, maybe shake it out, okay? We're in that for a bit. So it might need that elasticity to come back into place. And now we'll step the left foot back. Maybe take a few steps. Choose stability always. And then make your way up. You can walk your way up that leg. Maybe ask your core to lift you up. Bending into this right knee. Don't let that knee go past the heel. And then let's just work the hips. Feel the anchoring is in the bones. And then the play is in the flesh. Maybe see if you can twist a little extra to the right. Ooh, I really feel that in that hip there. And it's not a bad thing, and it's not very sharp. It's just letting me know, hey, I'm hitting that tensile point. All right, maybe dip a little deeper, maybe straighten a bit. Notice what we notice. Try not to super grip in the feet so that you're not deadening a zone of your contact with the earth. All right, now we'll push this left hip forward, right hip back. Lift up through the low belly. Push into the baby toe edge. Breathe in, breathe out, soften. Don't try to rip it. Approach it with some kindness. Maybe massage it as I'm doing here. Breath. And we'll bring those hands down. Step this left leg up. Maybe shake it out. Okie dokie. Now we're going to combine and find a fluid way to come through all of this. So let's roll our spine up. When our body is new to a lot of movement or is feeling super stiff, let's not go into long holds straight away. Let's try to move it in a fluid manner Work it, work it, work it. Then maybe once or twice with a little bit more of a long hold. We'll prepare the flesh to get ready, also inform our mind about what's really going on and what it will endure. We're not here to prove anything, rip anything apart. All right, so here we go. Let's find our mountain, practice it, calm your mind. Bring your awareness into your body, what you want to connect with you here today. Treat yourselves the way you want to be treated. And let's breathe in and lift. We're going to do the side bend. Side bend. Pushing down with the bent side leg. Inhale. Exhale it over. Good, let's breathe in and take it forward. Let's step the right foot back, take your time, back foot flat, establish your base, choose how you want to come up. And let's work the hips a little side, side. What wants to move in the spinal column and the chest? What's giving us the stability in the legs? Come to center. Breathe in, pull that chest up. Exhale, hands down, maybe to the block. Step the back leg up. We're going to trade it out. Step that left leg back. I'm going to take 2 steps here. I'm lengthening it out. Also, as you start to repeat through a cycle, you could maybe start to vary your distance. Maybe the body's warming up in once more. Maybe the body is stiffening in once less. Let's go side to side. You work your pace, your commitment. Don't overdo. So back off of anything that's getting super intense. Your discipline, your tapas can just be in staying with it. Maybe slower, maybe more moderate, but that you're staying committed, saying, I can, my body can, my breath can. Breathe in, lift from just beneath the belly button, sink in the hips. And we'll bring the hands down. Step the back leg up, roll the spine up. We'll reach the arms out wide, rotate, rotate, lifting the chest, rounding the spine, upper arms. Inhale, let's breathe, not force. Exhale, what's moving up and down the spine, what's moving in the front of the belly and the chest and the throat. Feel the connection all of these body parts have with one another. Good, we'll come upright, flip the palms back, reach the hands back as though they could reach each other. Grow tall, don't round the spine. Feel your legs, the anchoring, lifting. Go ahead and find your clasp. All right, so we're going to lift the arms up behind us. Now let's step the left leg back and start to open ourselves out wide. And we'll bend the right knee. So now we've got the front of the chest that ought to hopefully encourage us to lift the chest, sitting up tall. And we're in the hips. Now, the working part of the quadriceps, of the thigh, often is dominating. If this amount of movement is starting to feel like a lot of work, the working part is taking over. So once we get through that, after some continued practice after a while, we might be able to sit and endure this hold and really get into the stretch. But we can't get there when all that we're feeling is the fire of the working. So just lift the chest, don't go so deep, find your breath. If you're in a comfort zone, try to sag. The anchoring is on the outside of these legs, firm, solid, and the inside is ooey gooey, letting us sink. Don't let that knee calm down. Where's our mind go when we're confronted? With a little bit of more space being had out of a resistance. And let's straighten. Now I'm going to step this back leg up, keeping the clasp if we can. So take your time, don't overpower it. So you can take a few steps. Good. Let's change the clasp. So now I'm going to keep my fingers thread, but I'm just going to change the order of them. Sending the wrists down and back. Shoulders down. Maybe the chin is level. And starting to step back with the right leg, turning the hips open. I'm going to go ahead and keep my back to you this time. You can feel out this side. Chest is lifting, maybe encouraging lifting the arms away. Don't rip. And let's just bend and straighten. Feel the fluidity, feel that working flow. We're not holding this in a static space. If you want to, if you feel like, hey, this doesn't feel like super duper fire for me, so go ahead and hold it. But if you need to lubricate it, go ahead. Lubricate it, find the stretch point, lubricate it. If we're holding, lifting the wrists away from the butt, shoulder blades down, growing tall through the back of the neck. Breath. Good. Now I'm going to step this right leg up. Take your time. Now let's bend the knees a little, hips forward. Got to stretch the front of the thighs and the hips. Now pull the rib cage up, wrists down. That's all. Don't bend backwards. Press down through the feet, knees softly bent, hips forward, ribs up, wrists down, breath full. Anchor down through the bottom body so that you can pull upward with elasticity in the upper body. And lead with the chin coming forward. If you can hang on to the arms, go ahead. Bend the knees. Feel your low back. See if we can let the low back go. And we'll let the arms go. Good. Let's plant the palms down. We'll step back to plank. Hands and knees to tabletop. And we'll find a few cat and cows and feel the difference, okay? So the torso now is parallel with the earth. We have already done bowing and flexing of the spine when we were standing and doing it this way and this way. So see how the spine is moving and flexing. Really got to get my back a little bit more there. Yeah. All right, but here, so that's up against gravity upright. Here, we're going to have the torso parallel with the earth. So the gravitational effect is different. The amount of weight that is distributed differently in the torso. So now we're going to drop the chin down, rock the tailbone under, arch the back up to the ceiling. Could you lift upward in between the shoulder blades any higher to the ceiling? What do we feel in terms of the working part and the stretching part? How about the breathing part? Initiate now from the tailbone. So we're going to tilt the tailbone back. That area needs movement, independent movement. Now drop the belly down. Pull the chin, throat, and chest up by pushing the arms down. Hear that. Pull the chin, throat, and chest upward by pushing down with the arms. Shoulder blades back. Feel your whole spine curving, belly arching downward. One more breath, full. Good. Now lead with the tailbone, rocking it under, starting to curve the low back to the ceiling, mid back to the ceiling, in between the shoulder blades to the ceiling, top of the head to the floor. Breathe in, arch. You're going to drop that belly down, curving from the low back. Draw the chest up. Draw the chest up. Feel another rib moving. Exhale, round. One more if you like. Slow, even, patient. Feel segment by segment by segment. Maybe start to bring your mind's eye into this. Are you only aware of skin moving? Are you aware of muscles? What depth of the layer of your muscles is moving? Right? If you choose an area of your torso, do you just feel the surface layer moving? Or is it deepest, closest to the bones? Are you able to feel different layers of you allowing movement? And then let's find child's pose. So I'm going to go knees wide, sinking the butt back. Now that's going to encourage opening in the low back, which means a stretch. So let's pull the belly and chest forward. You could place your head on your arms or on a block. And see if you can just let your butt sink back heavy while the chest is pulling forward. Okay, those equal and opposite actions start to create the stretch. One thing going one way, another thing going the other way. Breathe in the middle. If you're noticing that you can't observe anything moving, what could you adjust? Maybe you need to widen the knees so that you have more space to feel the hips and the groin get into that stretch. Some of you can lay the belly and the chest down and then pull it forward and then feel gravity sinking into you. And notice, am I feeling the stretch in my tummy, in my sides, in my low back, in my upper back? Not going to say it should feel any certain place because we're all in a different body. We've all done different things with our bodies. All right, we're going to come up to hands and knees. We're going to work the backs of the shoulders because we've opened the chest. I generally do like to encourage having a counter space. So because we've spent this time doing this rotation and this opening, I'd like to encourage us coming into that crisscross space or that adduction movement. So here's what we're going to do. Some of you might need a pillow nearby for your head. I'm just going to put it here just to demonstrate how to use the pillow in this manner. I'm going to twist my right arm open. Remember, the anchor point now is the left arm. Everything that's moving in the waist, that's the elastic. Now I'm going to thread the needle. I'm going to try to slide as much of the back of this right arm and shoulder blade to the floor. And then you're noticing I've got my pillow ready for me. Some of you might need an even higher pillow. Now I like to do this with my knees a lot closer together. I had been wide before. Your left arm could be forward. Your left arm could come behind your back. That might give you a little bit of an opening, aka stretch, in that left shoulder. Breath and sink. Gravity is a huge part of helping us relate to our anchoring, our rooting. Now, don't forget that the neck is a part of this spiral. Is it stuck, or is there energy still in it for movement? Movement, not forcing. So much for us to connect with in yoga. Just pick your lane and stay there. Try to work a focus. Don't try to work it all. I just speak on certain points to open us up to the different possibilities that are there. In the end, ease and steadiness. Be stable first. Don't go after all the things. And we'll release that left arm. Ease that right shoulder from under us. I'm going to root down through the right arm, revolve, and then ask, what's moving in the front of the chest? What's moving in the middle of the chest? All the way around, wrapping around the chest. My waist. Can I feel the stretch in my hips and my low back? Ooh, yeah, if I loosen my midsection and really firm down through that arm. Oh, yeah, that low back got to really get in there for me. And now I'm going to bring as much of the back of this left shoulder onto the mat. Now I'm not going to use the pillow here on this side because my ear can easily come to the floor. And I'd like to get as much range and the pressure from letting the body weight anchor down adds to that twist through the back of that arm, that stretch. Use your breath. Maybe take that right hand behind your back. Perhaps not. Feel the breath stretching you from the inside out. Are you only stretching the upper parts of your lungs? Can you stretch the bottom parts? And don't forget your neck. Don't forget patience. We'll release the right arm. Ease that left arm out from under us. All right, we're going to reach that left leg back and then push back against the heel. So keep the toes planted and stretch the heel back. So we've got to push down and forward through the arms. You could even use your core. And soften the back of the leg to let the flesh, let the movement in. Good. Let's shift back forward. Lift the leg. Now, twist the hip open. And that's stretching through the front of the hip and a little bit of the low back. The upper back gets into the twist as well. And close. And we'll bring this knee in. And if we think about that as a range of movement in the different planes that the body exists on, we don't really move in that kind of stretch often. So getting that kind of range of movement would be great balance for how we are in our bodies. Let's push the toes down, push back against that heel. Now, how could you use your breath to help you ease up around this stretch point? Maybe even disperse the energy. So don't press back so laser-like. Maybe back off just a hair. Squeeze your thighs. Notice how much stability you can give while in the stretch, and then soften the thighs and really push using the arms. Is that too intense? Do you need more stability around your joints? Maybe squeeze again to test it. Does it make you feel more solid and yet open? And we'll shift it forward, lifting that leg and the heel. So much structure here. Now use all of that structure in anchoring, and we'll twist from the waist open. Breathe. Try not to use the arms so much. Ask your legs and your waist to help you. Breath in. Breath out. And we'll close and we'll bring that leg down. We're going to step the left leg up. Now let's lift it and step it back. Let's do it with the other side. We're going to lift the right. How high up can we place it without it slamming down to the earth? Now lift it and step it back. We're going to do this one more time. Do we feel as though this is a big movement that we need stretch for, or is this a big movement that we need strength for? Feel that out. Calm, patient, place the foot, no crashing, and lift, take it back. If you chose both, you are correct. We need to have this hip open, so we get a little bit of a hip rounding, that circular movement, getting that up, and then we need to be able to stretch that leg, and then we need the core strength to not slam it down to the earth. All right, so I'm going to keep that back knee down, and I've wiggled this left foot to the left nice and wide. If you would like a pillow or something under you or a block, go ahead. I've got a pillow down here. I've got that right knee back onto the floor. I'm going to scooch it back a little because my hips say yes. Now I'm going to sink down into the front of that right hip. Now you might be on your hands. You might not be down here, and that's okay. Pull the chest forward, hug the right thigh to you. Breathe into the joint of that left hip. Feel the ligaments and tendons. Can you feel stretch in the torso? Because all of the movement and the range isn't just given in the hip joint. We need the pliability of the torso. If the torso was rigid, you're not going to get a lot out of that hip. We would be asking too much out of the hips when the whole body needs to collaborate. Breath. Can you sink down in the hips? Maybe come to the forearms if you're on your hands. And we'll walk our way back. Take your time. You've got to activate your core to come here. Okay? So don't strain. Feel each piece. Have some humbling about how much core and flexibility have to work together. Now we're going to lift that foot and step it back. Yay. All right, other side. We're going to lift, round the hip, maybe do a few little hip circles. Feel where we are. And we'll step, lengthen it, place the foot. I'm going to wiggle that a little wide. Now I'm going to scooch that left knee back a little for me. Now, you could have a block out in front of you. I'm going to use my fingertips. Bending that right knee. Don't let it go past your heel. Okay? And dip down in the hips. Honor and respect. Maybe squeeze inner thighs. When you feel like things are breaking up, they're breaking up. Let's give it some solidity. Pull the belly button forward, chest forward, sink in the hips. Ooh. Relax into your pelvic floor. Let the breath happen. If you're feeling confident and comfortable, you could come down to your elbows. Try not to let the right knee splay out. Keep drawing the shoulders back. Ask the torso to help the hips so that we're not compressing, we're not dumping into this chest area, into this thoracic. Slowly walk it up. Tighten your belly a little. Ask your belly to help you. We need it. All right, so now some of you know what's coming. We're going to lift this right foot just straight up and then step it back. Yay, we got to feel some core. Awesome. Let's come around to sitting. And we'll bring the bottoms of the feet together, knees open. All right, so what we just did was a hip neutral stretch and a stretch through the back quadricep, or the back top of the thigh, for those who don't want to use anatomical muscular terms. Here we're working the hips in an external rotation, okay? The warrior one was neutral, and of course our standing mountain was neutral. Warrior two, where we had the knee bent and the back leg straight, when we were turned sideways, that's a hip opener. All right, try not to super jack the heels toward the groin, because here's what often happens. Some folks start to hike this, and then this is what happens. And they're like, oh, I can't do this. I don't want to do this. Well, you know what? I wouldn't want to do this either. That doesn't look good. It doesn't look like it feels comfy. Forget how it looks. It just doesn't look like it feels comfy. So take the heels forward a bit. Let your inner thighs relax. And then see how much. Remember what I said, that the hips and the torso have to work together. Because here, the hips are going to anchor to let me stretch the chest. So can we make this be more about lengthening the back and the chest rather than the groin? This is our anchor. Hold on to your shins or calves. Use the muscles of the inner thighs to press open. Pull the breastbone up. Let your chin remain level. Let's do some neck rotations while consciously pulling the neck upward on our own. Feel the bands of tense flesh along the sides of the neck. Where along the sides do we start to notice that resistance? And where does it move freely? We might feel that the muscles in the front of the throat and neck have a lot of freedom. Maybe the absolute back is second rate, who knows? But that the sides, and for me it's more along the back of the sides of the neck, not directly on the sides or the front sides. The back sides, left and right, definitely feel the tension. I'm going to keep drawing upward from the base of the neck and change direction. Feel the upward lift as you arc up and over. Maybe draw into mind the standing back bend that we did. Can you bring that energy of the lift through the base of the neck away from the shoulders, and then it comes up and over? Invest in the lifting, and we're pulling space in those vertebrae. Let's come to neutral. Chest is lifting. Hinge at the hips. Don't ground the spine. Imagine there is a rope on your belly button and it's pulling you forward. So we just pull the belly forward and then round it and bring it back. Pull the belly forward. Hopefully you feel a little bit of stretch in the low belly and the low back, and round. Shoulders down and lift. Maybe you hinge forward a little bit more and round. And hinge. Where's your natural stop point? And round. One more we're going to hold because we've just done a few fluid. Don't press down on the inner thighs. Lengthen your torso. Ask the torso to help you find space in your hips. Ask your hips to anchor to give you space in your torso. Feel the sides of your waist giving you that space. Be patient with the amount of space your body wants to give you today. Don't walk into your practice with an objective. We come into our practice and let our bodies and our spirits show us what is going on. We don't come to our mats, let's roll it up. We don't come to our mats with the intention of us coming to show our body what it's supposed to do. It's a complete flipping of our mindset as to how we come to our mat with humility. All right, I'm running out of time. So we've done Baddha Konasana as seated. We did kneelings. I know I had said standing, seated, and reclining in the intro of what I typed, but we're going to get to the reclining now. We only did one true seated Baddha Konasana. If you're practicing this continuing at home, you could start here with the heels further away and then maybe walk it in humbly, half an inch, quarter of an inch, and then feel that spine. drawing the shoulders down, really intending this upward space. And notice what we notice. Okay, there's more than enough to practice in all of the subtleties of movement and action in our bodies. And then we get to see the landscape of busyness in our mind. All right, let's walk our feet forward. And we're going to engage into lowering ourselves down, but let's see about it not only as a core engagement, but a back stretch. Okay, so our legs are out in front of us. Go ahead and tuck the chin down. Take a breath. As you exhale, curve the spine, protrude it, curve it, keep the chin tucked, stretch your back as vertebra by vertebra comes in contact with the floor. And then we'll reach the arms overhead. And then rest the arms on the floor behind you. Notice what you're feeling that's even just the slightest amount of any sort of tension or tightness. Because that is lengthening. That's a stretch going on in the front of your body. The back of the body is doing the whole anchoring from the heels through the calves, through the butt, through the shoulder blades. Good. Let's bring the hands behind the head. Tuck the chin toward the chest and then use your hands to just hold that in place. Use your arm strength to hold that in place, but loosen your neck muscles now. Rely on your arms to be your support. And then just notice what you notice along the entire length of your spine, from the low back, from the tailbone, mid back, upper back. There's probably a lot that we're aware of here. Pull the chin a little closer. Hold strong with the arms, but now relax your upper back and neck. And we'll lower the head down. Let's invite the right knee into the chest. Don't use your hands, and let's bring that back down. Lengthen that leg. So can you lengthen that heel a little further down your mat and then let the leg go? And feel yourself just encouraging some space in your joints. Other leg, we're going to lift and pull the knee into the belly. Press your spine to the floor. You're actually stretching your back here. Use your core. And let's lengthen it back out. Try to stretch that heel forward a little bit more and then place that leg down. Feel that extra length that you just created in your low back and through your legs. All right, let's lift. I guess it's the right leg into the chest. Push the back of the left leg to the floor. Add more anchoring. Pulling that right knee into the belly. Stretch your low back into the floor. Now we're going to do a twist. So let's see what we can do without our hands. And just roll over to the left hip. Now, if you like, you can use your left hand to the right side of the thigh. All right, so now that right knee, leg, the whole weight of that leg, let that be a part of your anchor, as well as your left side, your left thigh. The stretch points in the low back, in that crossover, right in here. Can you soften it? Permit it. Find the words you need to talk to yourself. Use your belly to breathe. Build the awareness that, oh, that area moves. Good. Release the arm and let's independently bring ourselves back up. Good. We're going to straighten that leg. Hold on behind the hamstring. Flex the toes. Feel the back of your calves now. So now this leg isn't weight bearing for us anymore. We did all of that standing. So here we get to literally flip it, take the load off of these legs, feel what's stuck and trapped in here from so much grounding and rooting. And let's point and flex, maybe pull the leg a little closer. We don't have to go for a whole bunch of intensity. Or maybe it's just your way. I give in sometimes and just say, that's just what I do. Ankle rotations, breath. Forgiveness is a huge part of this practice. So just start to infuse your practice with a healthy dose of forgiveness. Change direction. Feel the range in this ankle. Move new bones in your feet. And pull the leg a little closer. And we're going to lower it down. Lengthen it. See if you can lengthen that leg and then place it down. Now let everything go limp. Feel your body in a new state of empty, a new state of stillness. After all of this movement, after the new spaces we've created. Left knee in, pressing that back of the right leg down. Press your spine into the floor. Whew. Press your shoulder blades into the floor. Know the energies that you're using, that you're calling for. Know what's doing work and what doesn't need to do work. All right, here we go. We're going to roll over onto that right hip. Maybe the right hand coming up to the side of that thigh. Maybe not. Maybe you're just like, okay, I just want to see where it goes on its own. And maybe you add more anchoring. Where's the resistance in your movement? Where we've hit a max point in the stretch, in the elasticity, where the elastic is stopping, otherwise it will rip. We're probably nowhere near the rip point. Some of the stoppages is just because of bone, like the bones won't move anymore. Flesh can't go beyond what the bones will allow unless there's a force on the flesh that's pulling it away from the bone. Use your breath. Take a few breaths here and just absorb what it feels like to just spend time with yourselves as a physical being, as a mammal, as a physical structure. Being our legs and really exploring, what does that mean? What are my legs able to do? What do my legs want to do? Being our hips, being our spine. A wonderful way to get out of the inside of our head, that internal landscape. Relax the right arm. We'll bring ourselves back onto our back. Patient. Feel that elasticity coming back into its shape. And then we'll hold on behind that left hamstring, straightening the leg however much it wants to straighten. Drive the heel up. Ooh, I can definitely feel that. And then some pointing and flexing. Relax your shoulders, relax your neck. Ankle rotations, no rush. Explore. Actually feel something on the bottom of the arch of my foot, like there's a little band rolling over the base of my foot as we go around. I'm like, I haven't felt that before, but I have new shoes, new running shoes, and so maybe my feet are reacting. Change direction. Where's your breath? Good. And then we'll pull that leg toward us. Maybe work the hands up the leg a little, give you more of a leverage point, a different point of anchoring. And when I bring that anchoring up closer to the calf and the Achilles and flex, woo, and I got to back off just a hair where I'm still in it, but I'm not in that red zone. And thinking soft thoughts in the back of the calf, light bend in the knee. Oh, thinking soft thoughts in the back of this hamstring. Ooh. Good. I'm going to release the leg and slowly lower it down. And just before it touches the earth, push that heel long, stretching that leg another ½ inch, then placing the heels down and letting the hips go limp. Maybe both legs at the same time, maybe one at a time. We'll bring the knees into the chest. That might put a strain on the back, okay, to ask so much core to bring these knees up. So give yourselves that forgiveness, that kindness space. Let's open the knees wide. Just keep the knees flush and open the knees wide. And rock, tilting your tailbone to the floor. A baby, happy baby. Feel that massaging going on with that pressure and compression of the flesh and the bones against the mat. Now legs together, and we'll trace an imaginary circle on the ceiling with our knee. Smooth breath. Change direction. Let's come to center, lift the forehead up to the knees, experience our entire spine. Don't be in command of your entire spine. Feel and experience your entire spine. Stay with it and soften. What's the softest and yet engaged, most engaged way of being here? And we'll lower the head down. Let that working release out of the spine, out of the chest, and we'll send both legs up to the ceiling. Eyes open. Rest the weight of your shoulder blades. Now believe you can soften all of the muscles in your thighs. They don't need to do a ton of work to hold those legs erect to the ceiling. Believe it. Be that flexible in your thinking. Maybe soften your knees. Soften your feet. Trust and believe you don't need to exert here. Be that flexible in your mindset. So many ways to consider flexibility, to practice it. Noticing rigidity. Noticing when we give so much, when we have so much play in our ability to move, in our actions, but we have no stability to it. It's kind of a scattergun. So we don't want to be that loosey-goosey. We don't want to be that freewheeling, because that's pulling ourselves apart. So it's a balance, it's a collaboration, it is a connection. Breath in, breath out. Bringing the knees to the chest, rolling over to whatever side feels good, and we'll have a fetal position. And then ask yourself, what is stretching here? What am I aware of? Skin, flesh. Where are the anchor points in the bones? How is my breath stretching me? Can I use the breath to work a stretch in a more subtle manner? And let's gradually bring ourselves up. No rush. Take a moment and reflect body-wise. What did we get to move? What did we get to learn? What did we get to connect with as we stretched it, as we explored flexibility? And check in with the breath. What did I get to move? What did I get to let go of? What did I get to make space for in flexibility with my breath? And arrive at the mind. And first, observe all the stuff that you weren't thinking about. Yay! And then what did our body and our breath teach us about the flexibility in our mind? How we can carry those lessons in our actions and our words, in our thoughts. Rigid has a purpose, but we don't want to get stuck. Space and fluidity have a purpose, but we don't want it all to spill out. Balance, connection. Hence the heart center if you wish to join. All that is love and light in me is deeply grateful for all of the love and light that you share in the world. Thank you for being you. Thank you for letting me share my practice of yoga with you. Namaste. Thank you all so much. Fridays is our basic yoga. And this week has been a theme of flexibility. If you want to go and check out more about that thought, as well as different sutras you might want to check out, if you want to take it into a philosophical end, the Tuesday of the beginning of the week in this series is where you'll find that. Wednesday, we took a power approach to our practice with flexibility in mind. Yesterday, it's Thursday, where we do new edges, new things, finding new levels, and we took flexibility into mind on that one. And then here we are. Feel free, if it's in your heart or in your pocket, to give a donation, paypal.me/justbeyoga. We'll see you this weekend. Tomorrow, 10 o'clock, our yoga basics, as well as 11:30, our Empower Yoga 60 minutes. Feeling some heat? Carry all of the lessons that we had this week into your practice. I'll hang out if anyone has any questions or anything that they want to share. What up, Laurel? Oh, thank you for joining this morning. You have made my day. She's a day walker. I don't think I've ever done daytime yoga with you, gal. I'm just going to keep drumming this, you all. Being able to have this interactivity, let's use it. Use it to our benefit. If you can get a nugget that's just for you, I'm here. And if I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. But I'll look some stuff up. I'll go practice it on my own mat, and I'll come and report back to you what's going on. But let's all try to find, let's all try to find some way to have the benefit of this interactivity. Otherwise, I can make a DVD and just like send it to you, and you could just sit there by yourself with the DVD, right? So we've got this opportunity. Please let me teach, rather than just be Belinda talking to herself in this room. I crack myself up. Okay, well, thank you all so very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. For those of you who are in the Curvy group, I am trying to upload last night's practice where we worked on some shoulder stability and different ways in which we can talk about and feel that out, as well as I think we did some hip deep stretches and how to not get woozy if we're going up and down. So if you're in the Curvy yoga group, pray that I can upload. I did upload the yin practice from Tuesday. Some juicy long holds. A lot of hip stuff, a lot of hamstring and back stuff on that one. And that one's already up. Hi, Kara. The interactivity. Being stuck in the house. I am so sorry you're feeling stuck in the house. Well, thank you so much. And I hope that you get out. It's going to be a lovely day today. Maybe take a walk. I'm going to head out to a little local lake and paddle around with a friend of mine, you know, feet and feet away from each other. But I do truly miss being able to have as much interactivity with students as possible. So that's why you guys are hearing me kind of whine about it. Hi, Kim. New insights, many poses. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. And I hope that you don't overdo. Do keep carrying your practice into your day to day. The purpose of this, honestly, is to make me obsolete. I want everybody to find their practice and be like, I know what I want to do for me. You know, I'm not truly wanting to be obsolete, but honestly, it's about you developing your practice, not for you to develop mine. All right, Laurel, the wooziness is real. Yes. Yeah, Laurel. And if you're interested, with Anastasia's permission, I could, oh, flubity. Um, I could send you, she and I ended up having a private last week, and we really focused on the woozy because she was having a lot of woozy. But she asked me to send that to her privately since she was the only one there. But if she will allow, and she's probably one of your yoga BFFs, so she would probably not mind me kind of drop boxing that to you if you wanted to take a peek. All right, team. Deeply grateful for each of you. Great to see you, Laurel. Great, Kara. Thank you for your share. I'm deeply honored to have you join. Kim, you are a rock star. All right, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. Megan and Carrie and Elizabeth. Wonderful.